Of clear skies and clouds out there as you get your Monday going, but it's not causing visibility issues. In fact, we're in really good shape when it comes to the visibility, especially across our major freeways. All right, taking a live look outside. This is what it looks like from one of our La Jolla sky cams. Again, we have some clearing. The sun won't rise for about another hour or so. Here's what you can expect for today's highs across the board. We will be in the upper 60s, low 70s across the inland valleys. The coastal areas will cool down by a couple of degrees later on this afternoon in the mid 70s. Palomar Mountain, I'm forecasting a high of 66, 75 out in Ramona. And for our the Julian neighborhood, we'll be in the low 70s. Warm temperatures in the low 90s for spots like Borrego Springs, Ocotillo Wells, 68 this afternoon in Mount Laguna. And we're aiming for a high of 77 later on this afternoon in Campo. So temperatures are going to get a lot closer to where weekend. We are looking at a mix of clear skies as well as some clouds. As we take a look, this is from our UCSD sky cam facing the ocean. Of course, you can't really see much. It'll be about an hour or so until the sun fully rises for us here. We're in the high 50s in downtown San Diego, IB, Carlsbad, low 50s currently in Ramona, and 45 out in Julian this morning. For high temperatures today, will be slightly cooler than yesterday, especially for those areas away from the coast. We'll drop down into the mid to low afternoon. All right, here's a quick look at your rain chances for today. Earlier last week, we actually saw the chance for rain quite high when it came to Tuesday, Wednesday. Notice how the percentage of precipitation have really plummeted. So we're likely going to stay dry. Big picture here, we could see some shower activity as early as Tuesday, but Thursday we clear up and warm up, and then we don't have our next chance of seeing maybe some isolated shower activity until we get to the weekend. So here's what your coastal 7-day forecast looks like. Minimal daily changes Tuesday into Wednesday, and then it clears out Thursday, and then we have a secondary system this weekend that could bring us a chance for more shower activity. The mountains and desert areas will be in the low 70s, dropping down to the mid 60s looking ahead to tomorrow, and then we're hitting highs in the upper 60s on Thursday and Friday, 50s by the time we get to the weekend. For the desert areas, we'll be in the low 90s today, and then notice how we start to see those numbers plummet Tuesday and Wednesday, rising a little bit Thursday and Friday, and then here comes that incoming storm on Saturday and Sunday with some cooling by the time we get to the weekend. Back to you guys. Some low 60s out there along our coastal areas. So those clouds have actually had an impact on our temperatures. We're waking up a little warmer than the same time yesterday, especially for the county's southern half. Downtown Chula Vista, El Cajon already in the 60s. But again, as that sun starts to rise, we'll likely see those numbers drop probably by a couple of degrees or so. 55 in Ramona. We're waking up at 56 in Escondido, 55 out in Fallbrook. The mountain areas, you're waking up in the low 40s, high 50s, and we're currently at 60 degrees out in Borrego Springs. As we take a look at your satellite and radar composite, as I mentioned, we have an influx of those clouds due to a surge of moisture and increasing onshore flow. Visibility, though, for the most part in pretty good shape. So although we're seeing those increasing clouds, we're not really seeing them have an impact when it comes to dense fog, thankfully. As we take a live look outside, again, we have cloudy conditions from the coast spanning all the way towards the inland valleys, especially for the county's southern half. We will talk more about the changes because we'll have even more clouds tomorrow with the potential for some showers. We'll take a look at that timeline coming up a little. Looks like a lot of our Caltrans cameras are down. We're all in the green though. For the most part, we're at steady speeds in from the North County headed south. Again, it's not a big deal. I wasn't able to show you those live looks because we're not looking at anything significant in terms of slowing. Really nice drives coming in from the South Bay headed northbound, 65 to 70 mile per hour speeds. Here's what it looks like if you're traveling in from the South Bay headed north. 10 to 15 minutes on the 5 and the 805, under 5 to get you across from Barrio Logan to the city of Coronado. 3 to 7 minutes on the 94, the 8, as well as the 52. And then last but not least, here's what it looks like coming in from the North County, about 10 to 15 minutes on the 5, the 15, full span of the 78 from Escondido to Oceanside, about a 15-minute ride this morning. Netta.
All right, Vanessa, thank you so much.
5:50 is the time. Let's go ahead and talk about the forecast now. This is what it looks like from our San Miguel camera, Mount San Miguel camera facing west, and you can actually see all of those clouds hindering visibility from this elevation here. Let's go ahead and switch gears and take you a little closer to the surface. This is what it looks like from one of our UCSD sky cams facing the water, and we are looking at cloudy conditions So a lot cloudier than the same time yesterday, but those clouds will clear into partly sunny skies later on this afternoon. As you head out the door, we're seeing mostly scattered high 50s in downtown IB as well as Carlsbad, 53 right now out in Ramona. High temperatures for today for the inland valleys will be cooler, but for the coastal communities will be pretty comparable to yesterday. We'll still hit highs in the upper 60s, low 70s. A lot of the inland neighborhoods will be in the mid 70s this afternoon, and then we'll see a mix of scattered 60s and 70s for our mountain areas. All right, this is our next weather maker right here. An area low is bringing some rain to the northern coast of California. It's going to push inland, and that's going to bring us a chance for some shower activity as early as tomorrow afternoon. The models are showcasing, again, barely anything. In fact, I'm going to fast forward this and pause it to about 5:05. You could see that we could squeeze out some light showers, very isolated for mainly the mountain areas, so those neighborhoods that sit higher in elevation. But for the coast and inland valleys, if we do see anything, it will be fairly light. Heavy mist and drizzle, more than likely. We continue with those clouds on Wednesday, and then on Thursday, we're clear. In fact, Thursday's pretty warm. We will feel the impacts of this storm, though, in the form of high winds. So some of the windiest conditions will be Tuesday for the coast all the way towards the desert areas. Some of those isolated gusts could peak anywhere between 30 to 45 miles per hour for those areas away from the coast. And I'm mentioning the mountains and deserts specifically, so keep that in mind. For the coastal 7-day forecast, here's what we have in store. High 60s to low 70s all the way through the week, this weekend, with greater chances of rain Saturday and Sunday. So we might not see much from this first system tomorrow, but the second system that arrives this weekend may pack a bigger punch. The mountains will be in the low 70s and then dropping down to the mid 60s by the time we get to Tuesday. For our desert communities, we'll be in the 90s this afternoon, and then we're back into the 80s for several days all the way through the end of the week until temperatures drop this weekend. Be really packing a huge punch in terms of moisture. We will have a surge, though, of clouds along with increasing winds with this incoming storm, but as far as measurable rain, we likely won't see any. As far as current temperatures go, we are waking up fairly mild in the mid to high 50s across the coast and inland valley floors. So temperatures right now, all due to those increasing clouds, we're waking up slightly warmer than 24 hours ago. As we take a look at our satellite and radar composite, here are the clouds that I'm mentioning. We have a mix of sun and clouds out there as the sun slowly starts to light up the sky, but it is pretty overcast for the most part, especially the closer to the coastal and beach neighborhoods that you are. Thankfully, those clouds are high enough off the surface where they're not really causing visibility issues. In fact, we're in pretty good shape when it comes to our major freeways. No major fog out there whatsoever. Here's what I'm talking about. We have a mix of clear skies along with some increasing clouds along the coastal areas. We are going to see partly sunny skies later on this afternoon, and will warm up fairly nicely. We'll be in the low 70s for the mountain areas, and then we'll shoot into the low 90s for our desert communities. Here's what I'm talking about in terms of the rain chances. This is for the inland valley, but our most populated neighborhoods will likely see some heavy mist, light drizzle, and then if we do see showers, they're more likely in our mountain neighborhoods in those higher elevations. We are going to deal with some pretty strong winds, though, along with cool temperatures tomorrow, and we'll actually take a deeper dive into that later on in my full forecast. All right, 6:10 is the time. Let's go ahead and see what's happening. Projects will be delayed, so they will not have those closures. Just keep that in mind. 65 to 70 mile per hour speeds on the 5 and the 805. This is coming in from the South Bay. And then here's what it looks like in terms of your travel times. Really good shape right now coming in from Chula Vista National City. You're looking at a 10 to 15 minute drive headed northbound, under 5 minutes to get you across to the city of Coronado coming in from downtown San Diego. 70 mile per hour speeds, just about that is what we're averaging coming in from the East County. And then here's what it looks like out of the North County. 10 to 15 minutes for all of those drives headed south or even headed west coming in from Escondido via the 78. All right, 6:11 is the time. Let's go ahead and pull up those border wait times for you and see what we're working with. About an hour 40 to get you across from San Ysidro's port of entry. It's a little better to cross in from Otay Mesa's port of entry, about 40 minutes less at last check this Monday morning. Back to you guys.
Okay. pretty.
Yeah, this is great. This is from our standards. Anything in the 50s is considered cool for us here. High 50s in downtown Ivy as well as Carlsbad. We're waking up at 53 degrees in Ramona. We are seeing cloudy skies out there, but a lot of those clouds will break apart, making way for partly sunny conditions this afternoon. High temperatures will rise into the mid-70s later on today. Daytime highs for the inland valleys especially are going to be cooler than yesterday. Meanwhile, pretty comparable to your Sunday for the coast and inland, or the coast and the immediate beaches. Not a lot of change. Air quotes here because it was supposed to bring us a lot more rain than it's now forecasted to. In fact, as we take a look at our rainfall forecast, I'm going to pause this to tomorrow at about 5, 6 p.m. or so. We could see some scattered showers for the mountain areas. For the coast and inland valleys, though, we are looking at the probability of precipitation low, anywhere between 5 to 15%. So what I'm saying is I'm not ruling out the chance for a stray shower here or there, but it looks less likely more than seen rain across the board. As we take a close mountain areas, here is what the mountains and deserts look like over the next 7 days. We'll continue to warm up this afternoon and the temperatures will start to drop slowly but surely Tuesday and Wednesday before another warm up towards the end of the work week. All right, 6:19 is the time. Let's go ahead and take a 5 north as you approach the Coronado Bridge, and that's actually causing some slowing after you pass the 15 connector after National City heading into downtown. 68 to 70 mile per hour speeds if you're traveling in from the North County headed south this morning. And then here are your travel times coming in from the North County, about a 10-minute ride on the 5 and the 15, about 15 or so on the 78 coming in from Escondido to Oceanside. Here's what it looks like coming in from the East County headed west. Again, it looks like Monday light out there, nothing really to talk about. 10 to 15 coming inbound if you're making your way north out of Chula Vista National City.
Yes, Vanessa, brewing right now. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember when my husband took part in brewing beer when we lived in Portland, Oregon.
Yeah.
Such a big beer town. And he's like, I don't think I'll ever do that again. He said,
a lot of work. Yeah.
A lot of 60. We complain. It's cold for us. We're in the mid to high 50s along the immediate coast. Similar light conditions for the inland valleys. We're a little warmer for spots like El Cajon, La Mesa, as well as downtown San Diego, but it is still quite cool there. A mix of 40s and 50s in the mountain areas and high 50s in Borrego Springs. So make sure you're grabbing a jacket before you head out the door this morning. As we take a look at our satellite and radar composite, we've had a nice cloud deck move into the region over the past several hours, and that's the reason why we're waking up to those gloomy skies. And thankfully, those clouds are high enough off the surface where visibility is not an issue whatsoever. We are starting to see a lot of the coast and beach communities will hit highs in the upper 60s to low 70s. For the inland valleys, though, spots like El Cajon, for example, hit highs in the upper 70s, and today will be a few degrees cooler. These numbers will continue to drop, especially tomorrow and Wednesday, all due to an incoming storm system passing by to our north. We'll also notice some clouds and potentially some showers. We'll take a deeper dive into that futurecast and take a look at when we could see showers for Tuesday and how long that activity will last. All right, the time is 6:40. Let's go ahead and no major crashes nor delays. Always happy to report that. If you're traveling in from Santee and La Mesa this morning, anywhere between 45 to 70 miles per hour or so. And here's what it looks like if you're headed northbound in from the South Bay. A little bit of brake tapping after the 54 on the 5, and then on the 805, make your way towards North Park. Slowest speeds about 55 miles per hour or so. Travel times 13 to nearly 20 minutes to get you northbound in from the South Bay this morning. If you're traveling in from the East County headed west, about 3 to 8 minutes on the 94, the 8, as well as the 52. And then here's what it looks like coming in from the North County headed south. Anywhere between 10 to 15 minutes. So overall, it's looking like Monday light. That's what we always love to see. Caution when it comes to those outdoor activities. As we take a live look outside, a gorgeous shot from one of our breezy with a slight chance for showers tomorrow. And then this weekend, we're looking at pretty cool and cloudy conditions. As we take another live look outside, the skies are clear enough where you could actually make out the Sweetwater Reservoir from our Mount San Miguel sky cam. Today's highs are as follows. We'll be in the upper 60s. So we have this next weather maker already bringing some rain to the northern coast of the state. It was supposed to bring us some rain but it looks like that's not going to happen. In fact, it will just bring us gloomy conditions later on this evening into most of your Tuesday. I'm not ruling out the chance for a stray shower here or there tomorrow night. It looks like we'll be pretty sunny for a majority of Tuesday, but towards the evening hours, we'll have the influx of those clouds. They'll thicken up and they have the potential of squeezing out maybe some light isolated showers. It looks like if we do see any activity, it will be confined to the mountains and desert areas. Here is what your 7-day for rain, nothing measurable as of right now so far. The mountains and desert areas will be in the low 70s for one more day. Then we're in the 60s by the time we get to Tuesday, Wednesday. As I mentioned, we have that nice warm up Thursday and Friday, a little bit of a break from those clouds, and then clouds roll back in with the chance for rain by the time we get to next Saturday and Sunday. And as always, as you pass the 125 headed up the summit towards Mast, 65-mile-per-hour speeds on the 8 West, and on the 5 and the 805 out of National City and Chula Vista, about 30 to 40-mile-per-hour speeds. We're now seeing a lot of slowing as you pass the 54 connector. And then here's what it looks like coming in from Escondido as well as Oceanside. Not a lot to talk about. In fact, we're at average speeds come the College area towards the Mission Valley neighborhood under 5. Under 10 minutes right now coming in from Lemon Grove headed towards downtown San Diego. Back to you. Because San Diego, we are truly under fire danger year round. It doesn't just happen when we experience those Santa Ana winds and during the summer. All right, 7:27 is the time. Let's go ahead and start off with a live look for the inland valleys, high 60s. We will feel the impacts of the storm, not so much precipitation wise, but in the form. CBSA.com is where you can find more updates for some showers on Tuesday. I'm going to emphasize slight, because the chances look to be less than 20%. This is our weather maker that was supposed to bring us more rain that we were forecasting last week for this week. But that's why we always say that the models are ever changing. That again, it changes really by the minute, in fact, and we're actually seeing that as we fast forward to tomorrow, which was supposed to be a wet day. So as we take a look at our rainfall forecast, we will have increasing clouds later on tonight. Clear skies for most of tomorrow into the afternoon, and then we'll have a push of moisture, potentially bringing us some light shower activity tomorrow evening around the 5-6 o'clock hour. Anything we see will be very scattered. Again, very minimal in terms of numbers, likely won't even be measurable, but that's something to keep in mind though, because you may notice that tomorrow's mostly dry and then all of a sudden during your ride home, you start to get some spritz, some moisture on the vehicles. Our 7-day forecast is as follows. And then by the weekend, we have a secondary storm that could bring us some We'll warm up, not by much though, by about 10 degrees later on this afternoon. Daytime highs will be very similar to what we experienced yesterday in the upper 60s, low 70s. And we got to give a shout out to Rocco. This was submitted by Tapping. It's short. I mean, maybe a quarter of a mile or so confined between the 125 all the way towards Mass coming in from Santee. Here's what it looks like if you're traveling in from Chula Vista, National City. 15 to 25-mile-per-hour speeds coming in from the 5 and the 805. And then if you're coming in from Escondido as well as Oceanside, anywhere between 40 to 70-mile-per-hour speeds. Travel time's in really good shape. About a 20-minute drive overall to head southbound in from Oceanside and Escondido. We're still not dealing with too much congestion. In fact, we're at average 45 to 50-mile-per-hour speeds coming in from Lemon Grove to downtown San Diego. We're now tapping the brakes once you get towards Federal and Euclid. Average speeds there about 30 miles per hour or so. Back to you guys. As we take a look outside, we are seeing nothing but clear skies. Looking out, the inland valleys will be a little cooler than yesterday. Meanwhile, pretty comparable conditions this afternoon for the coastal communities. We were forecasting potentially some showers, but it looks like the chances are dwindling. Right now, we're seeing a chance of precipitation between 15 to about 20%. So chances to make your way down towards Encinitas due to a crash near Solana Beach. We'll be back after this. Fine to about a quarter of a mile, stop and go from the 125 all the way towards Mass. We're tracking a little bit of slowing once you get past San Diego State, making your way towards Mission Valley on the 8 West. And if you're traveling in from the 5 and the 805 out of Chula Vista as well as National City, you're looking at full freeway speeds for the most part, with the exception of the 54 all the way towards the 15. And here's what it looks like coming in from Escondido and Oceanside. So we are looking at slowing. But as I mentioned, no significant delays nor crashes. Always happy to report that. 15 to 20 right now to get you northbound or southbound rather, coming in from the North County. Average speed is about 40 to 55 miles per hour or so. And here's what it looks like coming in from the East County headed west. We're crawling right now in from the College area, stop and go from about Waring Road all the way towards the 805. And then about 10 to 12 minutes on the 94 and the 52 west. Here's what it looks like if you're traveling in from the South Bay. Stop and go from National City, shooting up towards the Mission Bay area on the 5 north, and then about 25 coming in from San Ysidro to the 94. Netta. Hoya UCSD sky cams. Today's highs are as follows. Will be in the upper 60s along the coast and immediate beaches. For the inland valleys, will be in the mid to high 70s, low 70s in the mountains with mostly sunny skies, and we'll be hitting highs in the low 90s for our deserts. In comparison to yesterday, the coastal and beach neighborhoods will be pretty comparable. Meanwhile, the inland valleys will be a few degrees cooler. Yesterday, we saw a lot of those inland neighborhoods hover closer to that 80-degree mark, and we will continue to see those temperatures slide back a little bit ahead of an incoming storm just to our north starting today, lasting all the way through the middle of the week. So here are your headlines, kind of give you a recap of what I just mentioned. Cooler conditions today, along with breezy conditions, especially tonight, as that onshore flow is enhanced and starts to pick up. We do have a slight chance for showers, and I'm going to emphasize the word slight because the percentages are anywhere between 10 to about 20 or so. It is going to be a cool and cloudy weekend, so we have a little break from this disturbance Thursday and Friday. That's when things are going to warm up. Those are the warmest days of the week, and then we'll have a second storm push in this weekend that will pack a greater punch than this one right here. So this one was initially slated to bring us some showers tomorrow, but right now it looks like we could still see some showers, but the chances are looking fairly slim. And if we do see any precipitation, everything will be light. If we have any measurable rain, it will likely be confined to the mountain areas. We do have the chance of seeing maybe a scattered shower here or there tomorrow evening around 4, 5, 6 p.m. So this may have an impact on the evening commute. But again, as of right now, I'm not putting any of my money towards rain tomorrow. It looks like it'll be mostly dry and even sunny all the way through the afternoon. And as I mentioned, if we do have the chance of seeing showers, it will be towards the evening. But we'll likely just see, again, some heavy mist and drizzle when it comes to that moisture. Winds are going to start to pick up, so expect breezy conditions tomorrow afternoon for the coast and valley floors, and then our strongest winds will be targeting the mountains and desert areas with some of those peak wind gusts exceeding anywhere between 40 to 45 miles per hour. Here's that chance of a second storm arriving, and this one will likely pack a greater punch, but the models will change the closer we get to the weekend. So just make sure that you stay tuned with our News 8 weather team for those for warming. So really nice to wrap up the work week, and then temperatures will come crashing down ahead of that second storm we're expecting Saturday and Sunday. It looks like most of Saturday will be dry. If we do see any showers, it may potentially be towards the evening hours into Sunday morning. As we take a look at the mountains and desert areas, we have one more day of the 70s, and we're in the 60s, 90s this afternoon for the deserts, 80s by tomorrow. Forecasting the potential for some showers tomorrow, and it looks like the chances are dwindling, anywhere between a 10 to 20% chance of maybe some showers. It looks to be more confined towards the mountain areas. All right, here's the live look outside. We have a mix of sun and clouds along our coastal community week before another storm system arrives this weekend that could pack a greater punch in terms of rain. CBSA.com is where you can find more traffic and weather alerts. We'll be back after this. La Jolla facing east towards the mountain communities. As we take a look at today's highs, I'm expecting most of the coast and beach neighborhoods to top out near that 70-degree mark. We'll be in the mid-70s for the inland valleys. Yesterday, we were seeing those daytime highs hovering a lot closer to 80. So this afternoon will just be a degree, maybe 2, maybe 3 or so cooler. Low 70s, mostly sunny skies out in the mountains, and we'll be in the low 90s for our desert. Today will be cooler, and then those winds are going to pick up later on this evening. We have a very small chance for some showers on Tuesday with an even greater chance of rain this weekend. This incoming storm is bringing rain to the northern coast of the state. Not really going to do much for us here, though, in San Diego. Last week's models were initially showing rain tomorrow night, but now it looks like it'll be mostly dry. We may get some light drizzle, mist, maybe even an isolated shower here or there. But looking ahead to tomorrow evening around 4, 5, 6 p.m., it looks like we'll just remain cloudy. We do have, again, the chance for some showers, but mainly for the county's eastern half. The coast and inland valleys should be pretty much in the clear, though. Tuesday night into early Wednesday, we may have some light precipitation, which may cause somewhat of a slick commute for your Wednesday morning. But as of right now, the numbers are looking fairly light in terms of accumulation. Wind gust forecast, we do have onshore winds starting to pick up, strengthening later on this evening with some of the strongest, most powerful winds tomorrow night for the mountains and desert areas. Here's what you can expect for the coastal communities for the next 7 days. We do have a little bit of a warm up Thursday and Friday because we'll be in between two systems. So we have one system arriving today, lasting all the way through tomorrow. We'll have a break from that instability Thursday and Friday with drier and warmer conditions, and then temperatures by the weekend will remain cool ahead of that second storm system, and that's when we could see the chance for showers. The chances anywhere between 30 to 40%. It's looking most likely Saturday night into early Sunday. Here's a quick look at the mountains and desert areas. Nice and cool Tuesday and Wednesday, and then temperatures rise a little bit towards the end of the week, cooling back down just in time for the weekend. In from the East County, these are for the drives headed westbound from Santee as well as the La Mesa area. Out of National City and Chula Vista headed north, no major issues nor delays. And then this is Oceanside and Escondido southbound coming in from the North County. 15 to about 20 to get you in from Oceanside and Escondido. Here's what it looks like coming in from the East County headed west, about 5 to 10 minutes. And then coming in from the South Bay headed north, 20 minutes right now inbound from San Ysidro up to City Heights. And about a 12, 13-minute drive in from National City up to Mission Bay. Eric, tomorrow, and this is all ahead of the potential for some showers. We'll break it all down later on in my full forecast. News 8 Live at 11 starts now. Could have easily been her backyard.
Right?
Gosh, I mean, what are the odds of that? Yeah. I have to talk to her about that. I don't know if she's aware of that story from our La Jolla Sky Cam. We woke up rather cool this morning, but we are thawing out. We're warming up in the 60s and 70s across the board. High 60s in IB and Carlsbad, Ramona, plenty of sunshine, sitting in the low 70s and mid 60s in Julian. So it's just another incredible day to kick off our new work week. High temperatures for this cooler and breezy with a slight chance for showers tomorrow. I'm going to emphasize the word slight because this weather maker was initially expected to bring us some shower activity tomorrow night, but now it's looking like the chance for rain. In fact, as we kind of give you a play-by-play and play it out here, shower here or there tomorrow evening into early Wednesday. So Wednesday morning's commute could be a little slick, but again, we're looking mostly dry for the most part. We have Friday, so we have a storm system arriving Tuesday, Wednesday, another one this weekend. And while we're kind of transitioning in between those two storms, it's going to allow for some warming Thursday and Friday. For the mountain areas, we're going to be windy, especially tomorrow. So the National Weather Service could very well issue a wind advisory. As of right now, they haven't, but we'll keep an eye out for that. Deserts will be in the low 90s today, and then we're back in the 80s tomorrow. Back to you guys. We are going to switch gears. Temperatures are going to drop starting tomorrow ahead of a storm system that's passing by just to our north. That storm system was expected to bring us rain, but it looks like we are looking forward to drier conditions than any moisture or rain activity to take over. And we'll talk about that in just a moment. So that was a live look inland. This is what it looks like a little closer to the ocean. It will be cooler and somewhat breezy today. And in fact, the National Weather Service just issued a wind advisory set to take place tomorrow afternoon because of that onshore flow strengthening, bringing in some of those strongest winds to the county's eastern half. We do have a slight chance for showers tomorrow evening into early Wednesday, but the chances are fairly minimal. I mean, yesterday we were talking about, or not yesterday, but last week rather, we were talking about a 40 to 50% chance of precipitation, and now it's looking anywhere between 5 to 15%. So this weather maker is bringing plenty of rainfall that we're supposedly going to get. It's going to be mostly dry tomorrow, at least for the first half of the day. Then we'll have that swing of moisture move in, and that has the potential of bringing us maybe a spotty shower here or there. That's what those green colors are indicating. Again, an isolated shower from the North County all the way to the south end. That remains the case all the way through Tuesday night. I wouldn't cancel any plans over it. Again, if anything, you may get a spritz here or there, maybe something to make you upset, especially if you just got the car washed. And that will remain the case all the way through early cloudy Wednesday. And then by Wednesday afternoon, we're dry, and then we're sunny by the time we get to Thursday. So this system is somewhat in and out of here. It will bring some gusty winds, cool weather all the way through Wednesday, and then we'll have warming and dry conditions return for Thursday. Current winds right now, 5 to about 10 miles per hour. We do have the one that we're expecting tomorrow and Wednesday, giving us about a 10% chance of rain. As we take a look at the mountain areas, again, the highest winds are going to be Tuesday and Wednesday. When those winds peak, they could reach anywhere between 40 to 45 miles per hour, so especially tomorrow night. And you can expect a pretty nice breeze for the coast and inland valleys tomorrow as well. So that's the deal as far as the headlines go. Tomorrow and Wednesday, cooler conditions, windy, and then Thursday, Friday, things simmer down for most of our microclimates. Before that next weather maker this weekend, that's going to drop temperatures, bring in some of those high winds again, and also give us the chance for some of that rain that we are very desperate for. Back to you.
For that hot air balloon. Oh man, that is a crazy story. 12:08 is the time. Happy Monday. Hope you all had a beautiful weekend. Guess what? It is gorgeous out. So if you're wondering, should I take my lunch inside or outside? I would opt for outside. Plenty of vitamin D to go around. I mean, it is just amazing conditions right now at this hour. Current temperatures, we are already warming up into the 70s for a lot of the inland valleys. Current temps along the coast, very nice and comfortable, upper 60s and lots of low 70s to go around. 69 right now in Julian, Mount Laguna. We're tracking 63 degrees currently, and 88, almost to that 90-degree mark for our desert communities. Here's where we'll climb to across our microclimates. We're tracking mostly 70s from the coast all the way towards the mountain areas. Plenty of sunshine to go around. However, later on this evening, we'll have increasing clouds. This system here, this weather maker, is slowly but surely sitting stalled right now offshore, but slowly but surely making its way onshore, and will do so in the next 24 hours. It's already providing some rain and snow in northern and parts of central California. It was supposed to track a little more south, bringing us some precipitation, but it looks like right now the chances are very low in terms of moisture. So our rainfall forecast will kind of go ahead and play this out for you, giving you a play-by-play as to what you could expect in terms of shower activity. You want to pay attention to that timestamp there. This is tomorrow evening around 5:50 p.m. Notice how we have some green on the maps here. That indicates the chance for some light scattered showers all the way through Tuesday night into early Wednesday. So on Wednesday, you may wake up to some drops on the windshield or even a wet driveway. As of right now, it's just looking cloudy, but a lot of those clouds have the potential of squeezing out some moisture, potentially some heavy mist or light drizzle. Nothing significant as far as a rain event goes, but I am not ruling out the chance for a stray shower here or there. What we do know for certain is this system is going to bring some high winds. So the National Weather Service actually just issued a wind advisory about 35 minutes ago for the mountains and desert areas. This will be impacting those spots starting tomorrow at 2 p.m. lasting all the way through early Wednesday. Sustained winds will be coming out of the west, that onshore flow, anywhere between 20 to 30 miles per hour, with peak wind gusts fairly strong, 50 to 60 miles per hour. So those are some powerful winds that we're expecting for the county's eastern half. It's tomorrow and Wednesday. Those are the coolest days of our work week. And then temperatures will start to rise back up Thursday and Friday. These days are when we'll be in between those two storms, because we have another one expected to take hold this weekend. And this one is likely going to pack a greater punch when it comes to moisture activity. So we could very well see a wet weekend ahead, but again, the models, the timing, everything's still uncertain. But right now there's about a 40 to 50% chance of rain in San Diego this weekend. Here's a quick look at the mountains and desert areas. Warm today, and then temperatures start to drop slowly starting tomorrow. But again, it's short-lived because we have some slight warming with clearer conditions Thursday and Friday, and then things cool back down just in time for the weekend.